Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Small Business Show. My name is Swire Ho. You can also call me the promo guy. My guest today is Megan McShane from Your Best Life Now. Megan is a dynamic force in personal and leadership development. She spent 13 years with Tony Robbins Executive Team, honing her negotiation and coaching skills while curating world-class events worldwide. As a certified yoga teacher for 13 years, she's also owned Grace Yoga and trained under renowned instructors. Megan holds a degree in marketing, advertising, and public relations from Emerson College and Metaphysics from University of Sedona. A dedicated business owner, philanthropist, and loving mother, she co-founded Your Best Life Now, a global mastermind united faith, family, fitness, and finance for entrepreneurs. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you so much, Fire, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Did anyone ever tell you that Your Best Life Now is like the best name for a business?
Well, that's why we chose it.
I think with that, then I will be hooked. Like, what do you mean by that? Please tell me more. And with that, Megan, please tell us more about Your Best Life Now.
Sure, absolutely. We came up. Your Best Life Now was born during the pandemic, and we were noticing, people missed connection. They were. People weren't seeing each other, people weren't traveling. And so we wanted to create a networking group of business owners and entrepreneurs from around the world who could, connect with each other based off the 4 pillars that we believe in, which is faith, family, fitness, and finance. And we really feel confident that when those 4 things in your life are balancing or in balance, then you're living your best life now. So that's how we came up with the name of the company. And what we do is it's a year-long membership that people join in on, and within that year they get weekly coaching with business strategists, with personal life coaching strategists, relationship strategists, or health and fitness, whatever you want to work on. We have an expert in that field that will work with you. And then we also curate 3 world-class events a year. And each event has a different theme. So like I said, it's faith, family, fitness, and finance. And we bring in a top expert in the world, wherever we're going, to do about 3 to 4 hours of content each day. And then we really like to network and connect and explore the communities that we go into. And then we have 5-star dining experiences all the time. We always give back too. We spend one day doing an impact project as well in the communities, because we always like to leave places better than they were.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Does it goes in a particular order because you mentioned the 4 pillars, or it depends on the person where they need help the most?
Well, when people join our community, we do an assessment with them, and it's kind of like the wheel of life. So we look at, their business, we look at their relationships, we look at their health. So we work with them to decide, okay, where do you want to be? Where you are now, where do you want to be, and how we're going to bridge that gap. So we start from there, and we do these assessments every 6 months to make sure that our members are staying on track and staying committed to their goals to get their outcomes.
Okay. Let's talk on all 4 of them. Since I am biased, right? And this is a business show. Let's talk about finance first. Like,
Sure.
I know a lot of people, and sometimes myself included, like the more money that I have, I got to living my best life. I can have all these gadgets that I want to buy or vacation that I choose to go to. Let's talk about that first.
Sure. Well, it's interesting you say that, because, I've been in this personal development industry now for probably about 16, 17 years. And the thing I notice a lot about from business owners, they are some very successful financially. They have the money, they have the resources, but they lack fulfillment. They're not fulfilled in their lives. So, that's another reason why we created this group. A lot of business owners, they're kind of the big fish in their pond. So they don't have anybody to catch and pitch with, to bounce ideas off of. Everyone looks up to them in the communities that they're in. So we really created this community so that people are always growing. We have a diverse group of individuals in this group, people who are, their businesses are still in an infant toddler age. And we have some people who, are in the billionaire status. So, it's a real diverse group. But the main thing is everyone is helping each other. So with some people, they might be incredible at finances and excelling in financially, but their relationships might be suffering. Where some people might be their relationships are thriving, but they might need, help with their financial side and their business side. So that's what it's all about.
So let's stick in with the example. And I like that you kind of mentioned the persona, right? So one might be really successful in the business, or they're actually making a lot of money in the business, but they don't feel joy, right? They feel like
Right.
they just on the grind every day.
Yeah.
So what would be the next step? Which pillar would you ask them and to help them guide them for it?
So I'm a big believer of faith. So, when you reach a place of financial growth and have all the means financially that you need and you are still lacking fulfillment, there's got to be something greater out there. There's got to be something bigger. So that would take someone in that phase into a state of a philanthropist or giving back. And that's where you really get fulfilled. That's when you really feel like you're making a difference in the world. It's not when you're, working in your business, 60 hours a week. It's when and that's why we go into these communities when we travel to see what these people are going through and how we can help them. And actually, it puts things in perspective about how much we have. We have so much. It's crazy. The faith part of it is huge, because another part of the faith part of it is mindset, and mindset meditation. I always tell people when they're go, 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 it's like you're not going to tap into your creative juices when you're always in go mode, when you're always in that like operator mode. When you step back and are in silence, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, that's when you can brainstorm. That's where ideas come from. And that's where true growth really comes from.
Let's jump off a little bit and tap into the regular small business professional mindset.
Mhm.
They're busy. I don't really
Yeah,
have time for anything. So how would you guide them? Like, right. So obviously
sure.
what you just said is very important. So not really, there's something important you focus your business, but there are other aspects in your life that you should be aware of too. So how would you actually start that conversation when someone tell you, I don't have time, Megan. I'm
Yeah.
so busy in my business. I
Mhm.
really don't have time.
Well, I think then we need to look at the business, because we find a lot of people right now, especially, that are in that mindset of my business will fall apart if I'm not there. I'm
Yeah.
the only one who can do it all. I need certainty. I don't trust anybody who's working for me because it's gonna, fall apart. I know I got to make some big decisions, but I don't. I'm a little too scared of making them. Or some people are just plateauing. They're just getting by because again they have no time to do anything else because they're in full blown operator mode. And we are actually in the process. We're launching a 8-week program at the end of this month on June 19th. June 19th, we're actually doing a free webinar for people that they're more than welcome to join. And then June 26th, we're launching, it's a 10-week online program with my two business partners and myself. And it's called the Business Blueprint Accelerator. And it's for that exact person. It's for the person who says, I have no time. I'm married to my business. My relationships are struggling from it because I'm never even around my family and I have no energy left to pour into that. So this 10-week course is going to give people, all the strategies and the tools and the tactics they need so that they can step away from their business and it's still going to operate for them in their sleep. You don't want to be married to your business and you don't want to be the only one that can really run the show there.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks for sharing. What about family? Like, I know I'm quoting like headline news, and usually, people like to pick on, successful business people when the family life goes wrong. But
Mm.
I'm sure that there are ones that who are good on that. So how do we balance business, finance, busy life, and with the time we spend with family?
Yeah. Well, I think when this is all said and done in this world, we're not taking our business with us, and especially those people who do have families. Our kids. I mean, I watch my kids. It's crazy how fast they're growing. Time. I've never. time has never made me more anxious than it does now as a mother because it's just going so fast. And if you're not present for your family, those moments are going to go by. And in 10 years, you're going to say, oh gosh, I talk to so many business owners who they're like, I wish I had spent more time with my kids. I wish I had spent more time with my spouse. It's just like your business. You have to look at it like that. The more you put into it, the more you will get out of it. People just think a family, oh, it should operate perfectly, or a relationship. But no, you got to feed it. You got to spend time with your spouse, your partner. You got to have date nights. You got to have family vacations. You got to be committed to going to things and raising your children the way you want them to be, because this world, they're throwing so much stuff at these kids, especially now with all the technology. We really have to be present for our families right now more than ever.
Yeah, I think one thing that happens, I think, during COVID is the technology side is actually develop a lot. Like Megan and I, we're in different states and we can connect it
Yeah.
for a virtual meeting. And now, I think for the first time since forever, when I travel, I can actually, I still have to do work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could bring my laptop. I could actually do
Exactly.
90%, I would say 90% of my work on the laptop. So I can start to balance it more. And then obviously with all the AI, something AI that it
It's amazing.
actually help my productivity and, you know, on the same time help me eliminate something that shouldn't be happen at all anyway. Like a lot of in-person meetings sometimes are not necessary, right?
Right.
It's important to have your team huddle,
Yep.
but if people are from out of state, you don't fly in people in just to talk for like an hour. So I think you could be more productive, but at the same time, it could be you could spend a lot of time just to click around and not doing anything.
Well, it's like, it is a blessing and a curse, right? There's so many things, especially with technology, like you said, with business now. And then we talk a lot about this with our clients. It's, because that's what you need, more time. Like you said, AI now, there's so many tools and things you can use that's going to save you more time. And also the same with travel. Like you said, I mean, I actually, I have never worked. The last time I worked like in an office that I had to go to, gosh, was probably, over 20, 25 years ago.
Wow.
I always worked remotely in the businesses that I worked. So when COVID happened, it was so funny to me because I'm like, well, this is what I've always done. But I think it really actually helped other business owners as well cut costs. You don't need a big overhead of a huge, building and this and that. And people are really more productive actually. Um, you know, you know, if they're comfortable. So I would say, it's really been a blessing. But yes, you have to be careful as well with the clicking around and stuff. But yeah, you can like you said, look at us right now. We don't live near each other and we're doing business and on a show right now, which is awesome.
Mhm. So I'm saving the last one. It's my favorite for last. Fitness. So
Mhm.
tell us more about that.
Sure. Well, your health is your wealth. So if this tempo that you have, this one thing that is going to get you through this whole lifetime, if you aren't nurturing it and putting the right things in it and moving it, you're not going to be able to travel with your family. You're not going to be able to get up and go, run your businesses. So the main thing, you really got to take care of your health and your vitality. And there's so many things out there. We're always innovating. We have one of our members in our group is Dave Asprey, who, if you've heard of bulletproof coffee. So we know all these different biohacks, all these different supplements, these little things that also will save you more time and help your health and vitality as well.
So the mastermind group actually bring in a bunch of different members, right, from different
Oh yeah.
backgrounds. So one might have expertise in fitness industry, one might have in faith
Yeah.
or family, life, which they have running right now, or maybe they're a successful business owner. So tell us a little bit more about the synergy, right? So if one member get into the group, find other information that maybe they never heard of before. Maybe they never heard about the fitness hack that you
Mhm.
just mentioned. Uh, what are some case study like after being in the group, getting the support? Are they able to grow their business, or are they able to build better relationship with their family?
Absolutely. And, we purposely want it to be a diverse group. If we had everyone who was in the same industry in this group, it would be very boring. And that's how we grow, right? I mean, we have anything from artists and actors to dentists to doctors to, real estate investors, to, home improvement. I mean, we have psychic mediums in the group. I mean, you name it, we got it. And the reason we do that is because we can see each other's blind spots. If I'm talking to someone that does what I do every day, they're going to probably think like I do. So how am I going to grow from that? If I'm talking to someone who in a different industry, they might have another, a great idea business wise to help me improve my systems or my teams that I wouldn't have thought about because I'm not in that world. So that's the beauty of the group, is the diversity.
Hmm. So it brings me to a question for the power of connection. So I like to do a lot of networking, and just like the examples that you have, I'm not looking to meet someone who look exactly and talk and
Hmm.
think exactly like Swire. I want to learn about an industry or maybe a skill set that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
So how would you say that contribute to the development for an entrepreneur? Because they might be best in what they do in the industry, but then they might lack in fitness, or they
Yeah.
don't know, or they lack the connection and faith, or
Mhm.
maybe the family part is they try to ignore it, but then
Yeah.
they know that it's not
Right.
running for
It's
them.
not going to go away.
So yeah, talk about the power of connection a little bit, please.
Well, I think, the main thing about the people in our group especially is, they are so have they come from a heart place and they want to give and help people. They're not a group of successful business owners and entrepreneurs who, just are here to get something. It's all about giving back. So that's why this community works so well. And connection, as human beings, like we crave connection. I think that's why during the pandemic it was so difficult for so many people because we didn't have connection. And when you're around other humans who are growing and thriving and have something that you don't want, like I always tell people, especially if they're starting up business, look at someone who what you want to do and that they're doing it better than you,
Hmm.
and go with mentor them or connect with them, because most people who are successful, they want to help those who want to do the same things. I don't live in lack, so I don't look at it ever as a threat. I'm always like, oh, how awesome, someone wants to grow and develop and they're looking for mentorship. That's why this is so great. Like I said, our strategists who work with our clients, they're not just like life coaches. These people, own their own 7, 8, 9 figure businesses, and they really walk their talk, whether it's the business strategist or it's the relationship strategist. I mean, they really are walking their talk and practicing what they preach and are experts in their fields. So that's how you can connect even more so with people.
I like that because if you name a successful people in business, maybe in sports, or maybe in mindset, they got to have a coach, and especially if they are at the top level, they're going to surround by a team of professional,
Yeah.
which each professional are better to do what they do than the person itself. So
Yeah.
if you think about that, really that's why coaching is. That's why you have to work for you have to hire help for people who
Yeah.
do a certain task better than you do. Not to,
That's right.
you don't need to do you don't have to be the best on everything that you do. I think that's a common misconception of entrepreneur, because I'm the best in my industry. I have to be the best in everything.
Yeah, and that's not true. It's like when people want to lose weight or they go to the gym, they hire a trainer, someone who looks good, who's physically fit. They don't go find someone who's overweight or unhealthy or miserable, It's like you want to mentor someone, be mentored by someone who is really an expert in their field, whether it is the fitness field, whether it is the business that you want to be in, or the kind of faith and spirituality and the oneness and connection that you see that someone has. And then also relationships. If you see, if your marriage or your relationship is suffering, and you see someone who really they have so much love and connection with their spouse, that's who you want to be around. You really want to be around people who are doing what you do and even better, so you can continue to grow and evolve.
Really enjoying this conversation, Megan. So it doesn't, from what you're saying, it doesn't necessarily, if you are not in position to hire, let's say, the best coach available, you
Yeah.
can actually find people whom you think are doing well. So and then just seek out for maybe a advice, or maybe buy them a coffee, right? Just
Absolutely.
to chat about what you think they're good at.
Well, and again, like we said, look at technology. There is, you don't have to join, a group like ours or anybody else's. There is so much content online right now for free that you can get. That's why so many people who are afraid to start out businesses or this and that. It's like, no, you can. It is out there. I see it every day. On social media, on YouTube. There's so much out there. But find someone who you connect with. Everybody's different. Someone who I might look up to isn't going to be the same as you, and that's what's great. So you got to really tap into who you are and what you want, and find someone who's in alignment with you that you want to be led by.
But the flip side of that, Megan, I want to play devil's advocate. Like, so there are a lot of content out there. I agree, but sometimes there are bad content out there.
Oh, yes.
So for us, listening with the four pillar, are there general question that you could let us know that we can kind of sort of ask ourselves to see, how we rank in each category, and then maybe we can find out a conclusion that maybe this is an area that I need more help or need to work on more.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, you can look at all those four pillars, faith, family, fitness, finance. And you can ask yourself, okay, you look at you write down, you get your journal out, because writing is so great. Writing gets all the things out of your head. And it's like, where are you at? And where are you at, financially? Where are your bank accounts at? Where are your investments at? Where is your business at? And then write down your goals of where you want to be. And then you can rate that, from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. And then you do the same with, your fitness. You do the same with your relationships. You do the same, with your faith. So really look at each category of your life and rank it of where you are now and where you want to be. And only you know where you're at now. I mean, your spouse, might think you guys have a great relationship, but you might not. So, it's, you got to be honest with yourself too.
What would you say if we start comparing? Because I know for all four pillar, maybe we're really happy and really satisfied. I think we're living a good life right now.
Yeah.
But if you start comparing, if you start seeing social media,
Yeah.
especially, then you see people with all the things, all the gadgets that they have, and all the fancy whatever that they post on, then
Yeah.
you start feeling bad for yourselves. Like, what would you say for us comparing other people with things that they've done?
Well, I think it comes down to gratitude. And, every day I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. And it could even be, oh, the weather's out today, or my plants are finally blossoming, or something so simple, right? Or it could be your family or your kids or your work. But if you start focusing, it's very easy to focus on what you don't have, but it's just as easy to focus on what you do have. So the more things you focus on that you do have, the more that's going to expand. So I've also seen on social media so many times too, people aren't real, right? And you gotta really know yourself. And I think this comes down to self-awareness, self-confidence, and having a good self-esteem. Because if you know who you are solid as a person, then, I think you can be a little more aware to the people out there who aren't, and really go with your gut feeling on how you feel about things. But wanting what someone else's have, or getting, feeling jealous that they have that's not gonna, ask yourself, like, is this feeding the problem, or is this helping me with an outcome? So jealousy is never the way to go. And but I think as individuals, we are human beings and we do want things, and it's great to have goals to want to accomplish those things. But I think it's not a place where you want to live. I think if you get you have the awareness to see if you're like, oh, I'm getting a little jealous here, just flip back and say, oh, let me go back to Megan, right? And keep it real. Because you don't know what's going on the other side of that screen with those individuals either. So I think it's great to admire people, but it's, there's no need for jealousy. There is enough in this world for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's really the point you hit on. A great point there is to know who you are as a person, right?
Yeah.
So I've met kids who are 13, 14 in middle school who know exactly where they want to be.
Yeah.
But I also have talked to people who are almost at the end of the career. They always say, I wish I could do something like that.
Yeah.
I wish I could be more, fill in the blanks. So what would you advise, us to kind of, develop or, to look for and to really try to understand who we are to find out where we want it to be?
So I think that taps back into the faith and spirituality aspect. And I always tell people if you gotta again know where you're at now and know where you want to be. So if you're meditating daily, if you're journaling, like there's a connection between writing things out versus typing them or listening. That you can really get clear on your goals and outcomes. I would definitely start with writing down, what are your 1 month goals, 3 month goals, 6 month goals, 9 month goals, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20. The clearer you get with your outcomes, the more attainable they will be. If you just sit here though and say, "Oh, I wish I did that. Oh, I want to do that," and just think that, the universe is all of a sudden going to send it to you by some kind of miracle. I'm not that woo-woo. I think, you need some action behind it. And it takes a lot of hard work, as you know, as a business owner. Being a business owner is not for the weak. So you got to have a lot of drive and passion, and you got to put the work in. And if you do, then you are going to get incredible outcomes. But I advise you to go through each area of your life, those 4 pillars, and get your goals going and set it. There's 24 hours in a day. So when people say to me, "I don't have any time," that's just a story you're telling yourself. If you can't set aside 15 minutes a day to do a 5-minute meditation and then journal and work on your goals, then you got to really reevaluate. You can wake up 15 minutes earlier. You can go to bed 15 minutes later. We all have that time.
Yeah, I really love that, Megan. I'm a person of schedule and plan. So,
Yes.
going with your example, what I like to do is, you know, imagine whatever good that you said, imagine you're there already. Let's say I
Yeah.
wanted to, lift weight, for example.
Yeah.
I want to have six pack, right?
Yeah.
Or I want to build
Right.
a $1 million business or 10 million or
Yeah.
whatever number you would be. Let's say you're there today, looking back
Yeah.
with what had happened. What what have you done to get to that point? So I set my plan, for example, for I want to lift weight, for example. I actually set up plan for 3 months in advance. So each week this is the weight that I have to lift in
Mhm.
order to live 3 months later with the weight that I have.
Yeah.
So that could be a substitute for your family, your faith, and
Absolutely.
finance. What should you be doing? If that's your goal,
Yeah.
there's certain things that you have to do.
Yep.
There's certain process or development that you need to achieve, and obviously there are certain things that you should not be doing.
Right.
So I think that's the give or take. And I like to see my schedule. I like to pack
Yeah.
my calendar, and just maybe that's just me.
Well, no, a lot of people, I have to have a calendar too. If I don't, then again, it's, if you don't write it down, if you don't make a plan, then you're not going to get that outcome. So, you gotta put it, whether you're into technology and want to put it on your calendar online, or if you're still writing in a, file of facts, then do it like that too. But whatever you have to do, you won't realize if you're not doing that right now. Wait till you do it, because then you'll really realize how much time you do have. Because I think it's what happens is a lot of people go into this state of overwhelm, and then they're just doing nonsensical things that are wasting their time. But if you start writing down every day, it's like when you're trying to lose weight and you start writing down, all the things you're eating, and then you're like, "Oh gosh, I shouldn't be eating this, I shouldn't be eating that." It's the same thing with time. If you write down what you did like for a week and then look back at it, you're like, "Oh, that wasted so much time. I should take that off my schedule." It really is, it's crazy, but it's these little things that unless you become aware of it, then it's never going to change. But it's a really easy skill to fix.
So I think this is an important question, and I want to ask it. So let's say you're doing everything right, you're hitting on all 4 pillars, and you're living your best life now. So let us know and paint a picture for us. Like, what should that look like?
So I think that really looks like, For everyone, again, we're all individuals, so that's going to be different. For me, for my life, I feel very fulfilled. It's a sense of fulfillment, right? So, my health and vitality is the best it's ever been right now in my life. My family, my relationships are incredible. My children, my family, we're healthy. My partner, my business is thriving. We're in the process of launching a new program, and I'm starting another business as well. And, my faith and spirituality has always led and guided me. So that to me, that's just like, that's a must every day for me. So, you'll feel fulfilled when you see things shifting in the direction that you want. Now, again, I'm human. So are there some days where I'm like, oh, this is hard or this isn't working? Of course, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's a lot of hard work. But you'll start to see, especially like it's the goal setting, writing things down. Like I was going off my list from the beginning of the year, what I wrote down, what I wanted to do this year. And it was so awesome to check off so many things that I've already done. So and you're always going to be growing. It's not like you do that and then you're done. No, you're going to keep elevating and moving on to the next thing, the next thing. You want to continue to evolve. We're only on this planet for a very short time and we don't even know how long that time is. So don't waste your time wishing and hoping that you were doing something else.
That's really great. So, Megan, for listeners who want to learn more about your programs and maybe to really find out which pillar that they need to work on more, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Sure. You can visit our website, which is YBL Now. That's now is spelled out, NOW.com. Or our Instagram handle is at @yourbestlife_now. And you can always, DM me directly. I'm Megan McShane on Facebook and at Megan McShane 99 on Instagram. And we would love to support and help you. Any of your guests, including yourself, Swire, we have a weekly speaker spotlight, which is every Thursday from 10:30 to 11:30 Eastern time, where we have a spotlighted person in an industry based off family, faith, fitness, and finance that we do a 1-hour Zoom call. So if anyone is interested to jump in and join any Thursday, just let me know and we would love to have you as our guest.
Thank you, Megan, so much for coming on the show. While you were talking, I secretly made a list for myself. So that's something that I need to work on. But
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. I'm so happy we connected.
take care.
You too.